Greetings and welcome back to another episode of Modeling on the Fly with 3ds Max. And in the last episode, we were wrapping up what was going on here on top of our little walker. And I'm going to do this fairly quickly. I don't think we really need to spend a lot of time on it. So I'm going to make up some stuff. I'm going to put just a few greebles in a couple of strategic locations. And then we're just going to call this wrapped up. Keep it simple. So let's see, I'll do kind of like a hingy sort of thing over here. And let's see, let's do just a couple of shapes here. Now let's see, if we put that back over on Selection Center, we should be able to copy that off, and that's okay. And then maybe just one more right here. So again, very, very simple. Now I'm going to convert all of these over to an editable poly. In fact, let's do it the easy way. We'll just convert to editable poly. Let's choose attach, and I'm just going to attach everybody. Let me try. So let's do this. Let's get ignore backfacing on. Switch over to polygons. So turn on ignore backfacing. Let's go from this direction and select everybody. And come over here, this direction, select everybody. Convert that over to edges, and then chamfer. And that should round everyone out really quickly. So there's a nice little trick you can take home with you. And so there we go. Now let's move on to the back panel. And we don't have a whole lot of pictures of this, unfortunately. So I'm going to kind of guesstimate what's going on here. We've got a couple of cut edges here and there that we can kind of fake. And then we've got a recessed area here on one side that's got some gears and greebling and stuff in it, and then another kind of capsule-shaped recessed area over here. And here's kind of another shot of that. And so you just a couple of discs up here maybe. And this is a really old corroded one, but that does look pretty cool. Now let's see if I dig through some of my other photos. This one's not too bad, but it's still not much by way of detail. And we can see maybe a panel here, some sort of cutaway there, another cutaway here. There's still our two little disc things. But not much to really tell us what's going on. Now granted, I'm totally cool with just making it up as we go. But I just want to see what's available to us before I do that. And the answer is not much. I have this one image which would almost be useful if the lighting wasn't so horrible. And that's this guy. So we can use this to get a real general idea of what's going on. So let's go ahead and just start working. So we've got this edge, and it's looking great and doing its thing. So I'm going to grab you, and I love this edge. I really, really like what it's doing there, which is why I'm going to remove it. And let's grab you. No, come on, work with me here. There you go. Let's see, preview selection, turn on sub-objects. That's so nice when that's on. And let's ring and do a connection. And, whoa, cancel that. You know, if you're not going to ring nicely, the least you could do is just go ahead and let me select everybody. Now, let's see, if I take this picture, now, just so that you guys know, I'm going to drag this over to the other monitor so that I can kind of glance over at it. It's just going to keep me able to look over and see it. If I want to point something out to you, I will drag it back over. But let's do a connection here, and I'm going to slide it, not pinch it. Pinching one thing doesn't make much of a difference. We're going to slide it over to, say, about here. I'll click OK. Now, I'm going to do a couple things to that. Let's turn on edge constraints, and then I'm going to make planar. Now, Y is not going to do it. Z will do it. So it's just kind of a nice straight line at this point. Now, with that done, we can start to differentiate where the kind of opened up panel is going to be by grabbing this edge, and let's see what we get if we try to ring that. Because I don't know what we're going to get. Oh, that'll work, I think. Yeah. So let's just connect all of those. And I'll slide that up a little ways. And I think that'll work. Actually, let's see here. Let me see if I can get away with doing 2 connections and positioning them like so. And undo that. So let's go ahead and commit that, grab you, ring, and connect one more time. This time with just a single connection. And we'll slide this back down here and click OK. Alright, so now this little spot right here can be our recessed area. So I have highlight selection on. It's kind of nice. So now let's get that extruded in just so we have an indentation within which we can work. I'm going to do that by way of a bevel first. And then an extrusion. Kind of a deeper extrusion. And that takes care of that. Now, a couple of other things. We've got what is kind of a capsule cutaway over here. Now, I'm going to try to cheat in order to create that. I think I've got something that's going to work. Let me grab a couple of edges, and Max wanted to think for a minute. So let's just connect you right about here, and we'll slide that. It's about there. And then take these two and let's connect again, and we'll slide one more time to get that out of the way. Click OK. Now, to get the shape that I'm looking for, let's try a trick. Let me bring this over. I'll try to show you what I'm building here. If we zoom in, I know it's really blurry, but we've got kind of a rounded capsule shape hole here, and I want to try to build that. So let's make an inset for starters to about there, and click OK. Now, I should probably try to square this up. So let's grab you, and let's make planar in Z, grab you, make planar in Z, grab this guy, make planar in Y, this guy, make planar in Y. And edge constraint is still on, so that should still be all nice and planar, which is good. Okay, now, here's the real trick. If it'll work for me. I may need to make some cuts in here to turn this into some squares, but I'll try this first and just see what happens. Let's, well, yeah, okay, hang tight. Before I do anything, I'm going to take care of these faces. And by take care of course, I mean turn off preview selection because all that yellow is starting to get under my skin. And we'll delete all this out. I'm going to grab these guys and do chamfers. No, cancel that. Give me the polygon. Extrude this down. Not that far, just say right about to there. Okay. Grab edges, give me this edge, ring that, chamfer that now, where I can specify chamfer amounts and segments. Now, without letting those two cross over each other, I can get something pretty capsule shaped, pretty close, just like that. Now, if we, this probably won't do what I want it to, but, you know, we never know till we try. Let's hit 3 and grab borders, and let's just try to cap that. Yeah, I didn't think so. I really didn't. But if we switch over to edges, can bridge those. Have these guys, bridge those. And bridge. And bridge. Now let's hit borders, and I'll start off just by capping all these out. And I'll take just a second, and let's give these some nice cuts to anchor them. Okay. All right. So that covers all of that. Now we can't really see too much of what's in there, but before we even get to that, let's take a look at a couple of the other things we have here. There's some sort of a panel up here, some sort of a panel down here as well. So we can go ahead and make something to kind of represent those. And the way I want to do that is, let's go right here. Let's get this guy and this guy. Let's do insets by polygon. Click OK. Let's do a bevel. Click OK. Do an extrusion. That's a little much, so not quite that much. Let's do another inset and a lot less inset. Another extrusion. And that'll do. And then another bevel. And there we go. So now we have some panels up there, and if we hide that, we can see those. Very cool. And what else? Probably that's going to be the hardcore stuff. Now, another thing, if you take a look here, this kind of opens up to a recession in the back, and that's one of those things that is kind of open to interpretation. It's like the story changes based on the storyteller. And what I mean is, if we come over to some pictures that I compiled just of the back end of this thing, a lot of these images show this kind of, it's an armor plate that sort of bends over the back. And there's the strategic blue arrows. Those are tactical arrows, and those are deployed only in the event of a real hardcore emergency. These are devastating, these are, so try to be very careful about firing those. So here's something real quick for whoever may be listening. I want to play a little bit of a prank on Jason. I want everybody who listens to this to PM Jason, and I want you to ask him why I'm eating waffles on video. Why is Zach eating waffles on video? The first person to do that, you may not be the first, I don't know when you're going to listen, but the first person to do that will probably get some sort of a treat. I don't know what, but that's all I'm going to say. So anyway, moving right along, let's grab... Why is Zach eating waffles on video? I love it. All right, so let's come back over here, and I'm going to clean this up. Let's loop, and let's do a chamfer. Whoa, mega chamfer. It looks kind of cool, actually, but I don't want to leave that. So we'll pull that down and really kill out those segments, and click OK. So now that looks nicer. Now, we've got these two little circular thingies up here. So let's go to Create. And let's go to Extended Primitives. And let's see. If we grab this, we got all of our slice stuff. We've got blends, we've got sides, we've got the cap height, the radius. What if we just draw an oil tank right here with a little bit of a height? Oh, didn't mean to do that. And then something about like so. Now we need some more sides to that. I want that to look a lot nicer. So that looks nice. Let's go ahead and convert this. I want to get faces. And let's grab these faces, rotate around, and some stuff I don't want. Okay, and we'll delete these out. Get the move tool. Yeah, we can just pull that straight down. Now those are a little big. So let's scale these down. And there we go. So, nice. Alright, now, some random greebling to kind of jam into the little hole in the back. What I need to do is grab that picture that I had just a second ago. And we can't see very much. So, you know what? I say we just make this up. Let's just put some stuff back here that looks cool, right? So, we'll start simple. Let's grab just a box. And I'm going to put it right back here. Ooh, pink box. Awesome. And pull that in. Now, let's see. Let's add some length segments. And I'm going to go ahead and convert this at this point. I grab these two faces, and we'll scale these away from each other. So that looks pretty cool. Now let's just do some random stuff. Yeah, just kind of that looks neat. Let's go to... Yeah, I was playing with splines earlier. Yeah, and that lent me a little bit of inspiration. So let's see here. Let's click and drag. This might look cool, and it might look like, well, something I shouldn't say on video. And let's see, let's turn on Enable and Render and Viewport, and that's just insane. So let's pull that thickness down. And then we'll switch over to vertices, grab this vertex. Now what happens if I pull that into local? Local! And we can slide that down to where it kind of fits inside that. And then, let's see, do we have anything we can borrow, steal, take from some other part and just bring it over? We could probably get one of these things. These look really handy, don't they? Here, let's just have one of those. I'm just going to pull it out here into outer space and kind of add it to the collection. And this guy, oh, we have to have one of these. That looks just critical. Oh, what are you, grouped or something? Alright, well... are you part of another object? I don't know what you are. Oh, maybe it's got a stray vertex. I hadn't thought of that. Oh, no. He's just somebody else. Oh, I see what happened. He's been kind of mirrored or some junk. So let's get this guy, and he can just go away. So now all I'm doing is I'm making a quick collection of stuff that I want to send back there to the back. Oh, and these. Now, these special boxy thingies. You gotta have these. I mean, the tactical advantage of using those is just... Well, I mean, I don't even know what to say. You know, I really don't know what to say. Alright, so all of that looks pretty good. And maybe one of these too. And same thing, so let's just pull that way over here. Yeah, I did some really interesting mirroring stuff, I suppose. And must have been like symmetry modifier. Bump. And wow. Okay, cool. Now let's get all this stuff together and we'll bring it all back here to the back so that we can play with it. Yeah, see if I can just get it all kind of close together. Hoo-ah, ooh-ah. Cool. So, quick little group of things, and let's move this to the selection center so that's not quite so crazy. And rotate, fly, move over here, hit Z. Alright, cool. Now we can just start slapping stuff down. So, let's see, let's start with this guy. And we'll do an align to surface and put you right there. And wow, that's amazing how well that just lined up. But it could look better if it was bigger. So let's make it bigger. Roar! And maybe not that big. Okay. And then we'll slide it kind of over here. Well, sort of. Let's see here. Let's get out of subobject mode, and then we can slide it that way. Now this guy, well, he needs help. We'll hit 3 to get borders. I want this border. We're going to cap that, and that gives us an edge, or a surface, actually. And the cool thing about having a surface is that we can do this. Put you right there. Bet you didn't see that coming, did you? Now, with that guy still selected, well, I didn't mean to do that. Bonk. There we are. Let's grab the element, and we'll scale that down. And we're just going to fit that right in the dead center, so that looks crucially, just critically important. You have to have one of these. I mean, high maintenance piece right there. And let's see, back over to this guy, get out of there, get you, align to surface, put that right here. And I love how well it aligns. I mean, that never happens as far as I'm concerned. And get you. Shoom. It's almost like using static meshes in Unreal. You just kind of put some stuff in there because it looks neat. And let's see, let's get you, bring that over here, click OK, rotate in local space. Yeah, that's good. Rotation snapping, and we'll move that over, rotate 90 degrees. Moving in local space, and then we need to scale as well. So we're going to get this guy, and I'm going to scale this one up. I'm going to make this look like a totally different shape by repeating it a lot. So let's see, are we moving locally? Well, not really. Local moving, so boom, right down into the surface. And we'll sync that through over there. Now, boom. Let's see here. Let's try 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we don't need that 5th one. So just those 4 extras. So there's that. Now, I grabbed one of those little funny radio boxy thingies. Yeah, there you are. You can't get away. Get back over here. Ah, yes, look at that. We still have our little align surface. So you are going to have to be right there. I mean, that just looks like the spot for you. And we're going to fit you right in there. But we're going to slide you out a little bit because it looks like there's just too much sitting on a flat plane. We need to change elevations. So let's make another box. And we'll give that a little, like another level. Let's get rid of the length segments because we just don't need them. Let's pull this in. It can just kind of stick through, and see that makes a whole nother elevation. This can be slid down a little bit. Maybe a little. I just want to make it kind of join with both of those. Okay. Now let's align this guy again. So you, right there, can go there. And that's good. But that's a critical part. You gotta have a couple of them. And let's grab this. Now I want to try something here. Let's say we come over to this guy's modifier and we drop on an FFD 2x2x2, jump in, grab control points, give me these control points across the top, and slide those sideways, and we can take this and make it parallel to what's going on in there, and that looks very nice, which is great. And maybe grab these guys and slide them up a little bit so that gets off of that object. There we are. Let's just convert that back over to an editable poly, clean that up. And let's see, let's go back to drawing stuff. Let's grab extended primitives, get some chamfer boxes. So we can go with you. Actually, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's go back to the old boxes. And we'll draw one right here. And we'll duplicate it down. Oh, there we go. And then, whoa, don't want to do that. And then let's draw a big one up here. Kind of heavy. Let's convert that over to an editable poly. Grab vertices, and ooh, we need to move in view or world or something. Make that kind of parallel to that inner edge. Go back over, draw some more boxes, and we'll add a little bit of an elevation there. And let's see, let's go ahead and do a chamfer box for what I have in mind here. Let's do chamfer, and fillet segs, go down back to 1. Let's do something kind of thin, fairly tall. Say about like that. We will sink it down into the surface. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we get that. Now let's see. We have a capsule. Ooh, have to have a capsule. We must. And boom. And let's play with its settings real quick. We're going to pull down its radius, and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees this way. We're going to move it so that it sticks through here, pull down its height. And make another box. And let's see. More boxes. And a panel on this guy that in turn has a little thing sticking up off of it. Ooh, you know what we need? All this stuff. It doesn't have enough ventilation. We need vents. So let's see. Didn't we steal a really cool looking vent from down here at some point? Yeah, sure we did. Let's see. Let Max think for a moment. I want this guy. We're going to drag out a copy of it. Move this over. Now, it looks like we can scale this whole thing down. It looks a little big to me, so let's just shrink. Get out of here. Now, align to surface. You go there and click OK. Now, frame up on it, and let's do some rotation. "90 degrees. Move it right in there. And then we'll shift drag out another copy. And let's see, you go there. And once again, we're going to scale that down a little bit. And this time we'll also scale it out a little bit. And I'll make it a little deeper, but then we'll move it down inside. Also, let's take this guy and grab... Actually, we can do this to several different pieces at once. Let's see how well this works, because we tried it once before and it worked pretty well. I was amazed. Let's get this, and what else? You guys... Okay, it looks pretty good. Now let's go to faces. Ignore back facing is on. And let's go from about this angle and select everything. Rotate around. Go from this angle. Also select more. That should get everything but the undersides. Convert that over to edges. Now in the case of this guy, we can take out that edge and we can take out this edge. Or we could leave them. And let's do a chamfer. Click OK. Let's get everybody at the object level. Drop on our material. Press F4. And see, now we've got all this crazy greebling in there that was real easy to make. We were just stealing a bunch of pieces. And I mean, if you want to keep on going, by all means. We could probably grab these guys. Let's make sure they get the material as well. I want one of them. It just seems like we're missing something here. And we're going to scale it down. Frame up on it. Let's slide it up a little bit. Ooh, wrong direction. Hello. Let's have a little bit of fun with it. Let's hit F4. And let's see here. Let's grab faces and get you, and you. And then these four. And then these four with these two on top. And then like that. And then that. Then that. That. Okay, and maybe that. Great. Now let's take all of that and let's extrude it by nowhere near that much. Just a tiny little bit, and then we'll do a bevel. Goes up and in. Get out of there. Press F4. And that looks like an absolutely critical piece. I don't even know how the thing operates without one of those. And I want another one. And we're going to scale this guy down. Really small this time. Even smaller. And let's grab faces. Press F4 so we can see faces. And we don't want to scale. We just want to grab all these guys. And then we're going to grow that. And we'll do an extrusion. And then a tiny little bevel. Click OK. Now let's shrink that. We'll do another extrusion, this time inward. Now make sure that's all sunk down into the geometry. And let's do kind of an array of these. Can we squeeze one more in? Not really, unless we make an adjustment here. Alright, well, what I'll do is I'll pull these down to about there, make one more row, and then I'm going to take out these guys that are sticking through. Okay, so let's hit F4. And there we go. All kinds of interesting greebling work taking place in there. And if you want to keep on decorating or make that look any kind of different or whatever, by all means, feel free. Now, I realize we're about at the half-hour mark here, but there's a couple other things I want to do. And that includes filling something into this area up here. So once again, I'm going to make some stuff up. Let's click OK. After copying those two guys off, let's frame up on them. Rotate them 90 degrees. Actually, fine. If you want to rotate that way, I'm not going to stop you. But we are going to take one of you and delete you. Scale this down. I want it to fit in there. In fact, I'm going to rotate that 180 around. Scale this back up. Kind of snug that in somewhere right about there. Bring it up a little bit. Now kind of divide that out. Let's create a box that can fit right in the middle. Go ahead and convert that to an editable poly. Grab faces, ignore back facing. Get from this angle, convert to edges, chamfer, Click OK. Back over here, give me a cylinder. Put that right there. Go ahead and convert that as well. This time we'll just grab the face up on top, do a tiny little bevel. That whole thing's a little bit tall, so I'm just going to push it down a little like so. Do that. Then let's get this guy. I'm going to grab edges. Let's just ring these. Connect. Press F4 so I can see what's going on. And then I'm going to increase the segments by 2. Step up the pinch a little bit. Grab the faces here. Do a tiny inset. Do a bevel. And that'll work. Then back down here, let's get one of these guys. Didn't mean to do that. And we just kind of flew off to nowhere there. Okay, and let's scale this up. Fit another one over here on this side. Let's see, let's grab these guys and drop on our material. And boom, bring the time slider back. Press F4, and there we go. So now that's got some greebling as well. And we're almost finished. The last few things I want to do here are just to add a few final touches by the form of some boxes, kind of like what we've been doing up here. So like this, and like that. Pull that up, make a copy of it, and put one over here in the corner. And let's see, let's put one up here. And this one we'll go ahead and switch over to world. Transform coordinate center, do a mirror. So there's one on the other side. Okay. Now let's attach all these together. So over to editable poly, grab any one of them and go ahead and convert it. Attach. You, and you. Grab faces from about this 45. Make sure ignore back facing is on. About this 45, rotate around to this 45. That should be everybody. Convert to edges, do a quick chamfer. Pull that down. Okay. Drop on our material. And there we go. So with that, I think we can pretty much stick a fork in this top area back here at the back of our AT-AT walker, which really leaves us this back panel to take care of, and then we need to shift over and work on the underbelly, and we should have the modeling portion of this all wrapped up. But that is going to wrap up everything for this video. Big thank you goes out to all of our member sponsors. You guys make videos like this possible. Thank you so much. And I will catch you all on the next episode of Modeling on the Fly with 3ds Max.